Another input type that you may be using is SDI, and this is a very common video format if you're working in a broadcast environment. Now, all rack mount style TriCaster systems have SDI ports available on the back of the unit. If you look, you'll find a number of SDI inputs and outputs. Now, all of these SDI connectors support up to 3G SDI level A signals. Level A is the most common style for 3G SDI, but there are some devices that use level B, and these will not be compatible if they are set that way. Luckily, most devices use level A, and a lot of level B devices can be switched to level A, so check with the device and see if it can be changed if necessary. The TriCaster will automatically detect the video format of the SDI signal that you plug in, but you do have the ability to override that in the software and force a particular video format if needed. If you need to add additional SDI connectors or SDI to a TriCaster system that doesn't have any, you can use the following methods. You could get an SDI to NDI converter and then bring in the signal via NDI, or you can get an SDI to USB video interface and then bring the signal in via USB. Let's take a closer look at using SDI with your TriCaster system. Here I'm on a TriCaster system that has SDI inputs. And we can see some video already coming in, because one thing you should be aware of is that you will have the first number of inputs automatically configured for your SDI sources. So for example, if I go to input 2, you can see it is set to local input 2, which means SDI input 2. And this one is set up for SDI input 3. This one, even though it's empty, is set up for SDI input 4. Now, I've turned off temporarily SDI input 1 because I want to show you, first of all, how we can select it, but also you do not have to keep the SDI inputs assigned to the TriCaster inputs that they are numbered with, right? By default, SDI input 1 would go with input 1, but let's just say, for example, I want SDI input to show up as input 5 on my TriCaster when I go to use it. We can click the gear for input 5, go to the source, click on the list, and again, under local, we'll see input 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the SDI inputs on the back of my TriCaster. And all I have to do is pick the appropriate SDI input I want to assign to this TriCaster input 5 in this case. And we'll see that this camera connects up. It takes a second to detect the signal, and now we have the video appearing. Now, if you need to, you can open up the source, and under format, this will give you some options to force the particular video format that the TriCaster is going to try to sync to this input. There are a few formats it might not be able to determine between, but for the most part, the vast majority formats, it should be able to auto detect without an issue.